welcome back to another exciting episode of Right Down the Street. I am your host, Mayor Barnett of the City of Rochester Hills, and we are back again with another great guest on a podcast that thankfully lots of you enjoy every single time. It's called Right Down the Street because we like to bring you great people doing incredible things pretty much right around our community, and today is no exception. I'm going to introduce you to our guest as I introduce you to probably the most romantic room we've ever done a podcast in, here in the Gallagher Building on the campus of Rochester Christian University. My guest today is Dr. Reggies Wenyika. Reggies, thank you for being here, and welcome to the program.
Oh my goodness, it's my privilege and my pleasure, and thanks so much for including me. And I heard it's a pretty good podcast, and so I'm certainly looking forward to the reviews and to hearing from all the people that are out there.
Well, thank you for saying that. We have a great viewership, and they're pretty loyal, and like I said, they're here to hear a little bit about some of the things that you're doing. First of all, welcome to Rochester Christian University. Welcome to Rochester Hills. Welcome to Michigan, because this is your first time to all three of these places, right?
Yes. This is one of the few places I've ever moved to that I knew absolutely nothing about. So yeah, it's I've been in Michigan now. This is just starting my third month.
Okay.
Great place.
Initial impressions.
Oh, love it.
All right.
Love it. It exceeded my expectations.
Now we're going to unpack a lot, but obviously we have to talk about this fire right behind us. I love the fact that you placed this here. Best location we've done this at. Now, your accent gives you away that you might not be a native Michigander.
Absolutely, because otherwise everybody's wondering what part of Texas I'm from, right? But yeah, no, so I was actually born in Zimbabwe.
Okay.
I was actually born in Rhodesia before it was Zimbabwe. So I lived my first 30 years of life.
Born in both places?
Well, it later became Zimbabwe, right?
Gotcha.
So I lived the first 30 years of my life in Zimbabwe, and then I moved to the United States on the 1st of June in 2000.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've been here for 25 years.
25 years,
yeah.
And that's it. So coming from Africa, I assume that's why we have a fire on, because
Absolutely.
you're a little chilly. Michigan Falls already got you a little chill.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what you're complaining about, that it's hot out there. It's a little chilly for some of us.
So, first of all, super excited that you made time for us. You are launching a new career here at an institution that's really important to our community. Rochester Christian University has a long, storied past, really a great partnership with the City of Rochester Hills. But tell me why this place attracted you.
Oh my goodness. So several reasons. About maybe 3-4 years ago, when I was serving as president of a liberal arts college in Kansas, I just started firming up the idea that I wanted to move to a larger metropolitan area. And so, like everybody, you kind of have this idea in your mind what kind of institution it needs to be. America being America, there's all kinds of opportunities from each coast from the East Coast to the West Coast. But I wanted to make sure, number one, that it stays within the Higher Learning Commission region, which is kind of the North Central, the central region of the United States, because some would consider me as an accreditation expert. I've been involved with the Higher Learning Commission for years. So I thought, okay, if it's an institution that's HLC accredited, it's right down my path. And then the second thing I was looking for an institution that has an athletic program that's with the NAIA. At that time, 2-3 years ago, I was part of the Council of Presidents for the NAIA. I served and I chaired one of their national initiatives over a 2-3 year program. So that was that too. I was also looking for an institution that was not going to be apologetic about its Christian character, an institution that had aspirations to remain a Christian university, but while being open to receiving students from everywhere. And then two more reasons that are kind of, some people think, oh, really? I wanted to live close to an international airport. I do a lot of traveling.
Sure.
And I got tired of having to connect so I can actually fly out of the United States. And so when this opportunity came up, it checked all the boxes for me, personal and professional.
And you got the 9th best place to live in America to boot. So, that's a pretty good decision.
So, I didn't know that, right? Until I got here. That's why I said it exceeded my expectations. And I drove around, and I'm going to say this. I've lived in places on the Gold Coast in Australia. I've lived in certain beautiful places in Zimbabwe. I've been to Cape Town, which I consider beautiful and gorgeous. I've been to many places. This quite easily might be the best neighborhood I've ever lived in my life.
And that's our show. Great commercial for that. Let's back up a little bit, because I want to talk to you more about what being a university president is like. Not a lot of people have that job in the country, and you've got a really unique perspective on it. But walk us back to a young Reggies. Obviously, most people's childhood has a pretty important impact from a framing standpoint on what they want to do when they grow up. I don't know your story completely, but I know it's interesting and it's very different. You did not take the traditional path to become a university president.
I did not. So, in fact, this is not a plug. I just had a book come out yesterday, and the introduction kind of gives my life story. But I came from a line, my parents were educators. My dad graduated from the Native Department of Education in Southern Rhodesia in 1948.
Wow.
And he had one job, he never did another job, he taught until 1994. My mother was a school teacher. My older brother was a school teacher. My young sister was a school teacher. My uncle was a school teacher. So education kind of was ingrained in me to the extent that I vowed never to be an educator. I was so resentful that, hey, we could have been rich if y'all had not been educators. But around 1997, as I was, like everybody, you kind of do that exploration of who do you want to be when you grow up. By this time, I'm already in my 20s, and I've already graduated from the University of Zimbabwe. By this time, I already have two bachelor's experiences that I've under my belt.
What were those?
And so I started off as a medical laboratory scientist.
Okay.
And I worked at the University of Zimbabwe. I worked in the hospitals. Then I worked at the University of Zimbabwe Clinical Veterinary Studies Department, doing labs for vet students. And then I became a sales executive for National Diagnostics, which was a private medical company, and while I was the youth director of my church. So you kind of know where that goes. So I'm doing that, and then I started doing a degree in biblical studies. I finished the degree in biblical studies. It was not one night, I'm teaching at our Bible college, and I'm teaching evangelism and world religions. And I hear these adult students talking about me. They did not know that I had not left. And I hear them say this.
That's dangerous.
I don't know why he wastes his time in that office. This is what he needs to be spending his time on. And I could hear them. One of them was an elder in our church, and they're talking about it. Yeah, man, we really enjoy it when he teaches. He needs to do more of this instead of these other guys that we get. Well, I tiptoed out, jumped into my car, drove home, but it hit me so hard that I'd been running away from the one thing that God had made me good at, which is to cause learning. Right? So that's what I decided. I thought, okay, I need to explore this further, but I need a little bit more education.
Sure.
That's when I decided, okay, I'll move to the United States, go to grad school. But 2 years in my studies, that's when I actually made the decision, I want to be a university president.
Now, were your parents still around for this?
No, my mother was still around. My mother only passed at 96 about 2 years ago.
Okay.
But my father passed away in 2003 on the 6th of January. But I called him to tell him, I'm going to study education. And I'll never forget what he said. He said, I told you so.
I was going to say, so the educators got to see their son become an educator.
And that's the thing. My sister was a school teacher in the same classroom, the same room for 40 years. The same room. Not just the same school, the same classroom for 40 years. So it was kind of ingrained. I guess it's in my DNA. But I had this exploration, and Archimedes once said this: give me a post to stand, and a pole long enough, and a fulcrum, and I can turn the world. I had always had a desire to turn the world. So I wanted to be a place. I wanted to be an individual who impacts the world, and I came to an early discovery that education was that thing that I could use to turn the world, and the United States was that big post that I could stand. And so higher education for me is an opportunity for me to impact lives. It's an opportunity for me to change a generation. Because without education, you and I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be having this conversation. Because I really grew up poor. I talk about my mom and dad, but we were really poor. And there's a lot more that goes into it for another day. But had it not been for education, and also because I believe in a functioning economy, And in a great city like this, higher education is still the best predictor for upward social mobility, regardless.
That's true. How has it changed in your time? I mean, you've seen education overseas, you've seen education in the middle part of our country. Now you're really responsible for it here. How has it changed over the years?
Yes, it's gone from being very traditional. You know, so 100 years ago, it was all about the teachers. It was, you call it the Teachers Guild. Come to us. We're the experts. We'll tell you what to do. But over the years, especially in the last 10, 15 years, we've become smart enough to know that we do a lot more learning from this generation than we do teaching them. They teach us how to teach them. These are natives of the digital world. When I went to school, there was no digital world. So the pedagogy and how we approach them has changed. And the future of higher education is not going to look anything like its past. Therefore, what we do, what I do, I cannot be the prototypical president. You know, I cannot look or behave or lead like the president from 20 years ago. It's just completely different. And so some of the innovation and technology has totally transformed and has caused the world to shrink. And, you know, in the 70s and the 80s, we used to talk about the global village. We used to talk about because of globalization. Now it's a global neighborhood. You know, this morning, before I jumped into my car to come to work, I'd already talked to people from 3 different continents in just short conversations, just like this. That's how connected we've become.
I tell my kids all the time, everything in life is about relationships. And I think that's kind of what you're expressing too. Staying connected with people is critically important. I want to ask you about, you know, as I said earlier, you know, you're a university president. That's a big title, but a lot of people don't know what that means. I think some people might think that you sit behind a big desk all day and give orders. But at a smaller institution like Rochester Christian University, you're in the mix. What does a typical day or week look like? I know you're just getting started, but what does it look like? What are all the responsibilities you have that people might not realize?
I'm the chief servant. I'm the chief servant. I am the proverbial chief cheerleader. I lead the people that run the university. I resource the people that run the university. So my typical job is to do resource development, is to find the resources and put them in the hands of those that are in the trenches, those that are educating, the interaction that's happening in the classroom. It's my job to resource that. Any interaction, when you walk on this campus, you meet any of our professionals who are on this campus, that interaction, the buck stops with me, how that goes. So that's kind of what I do. You know, maybe 40, 50 years ago, it was kind of, you know, and there are different styles to this, and all leadership is obviously situational. But I define myself as incarnational in my leadership approach. Some people use that by management, by walking around. In another 3 months or so, I will know where everything is on this campus. And it's just my style. I just do that because that's my best way to connect with those I lead, and for me to be sensitive enough to their needs, and also to be able to hold them accountable in an appropriate way so as we move the right needles. It's all about moving certain needles. And it's all about ensuring that those needles are moving in the right direction. So my job is to cast vision. My job is to define who we are. My job is to embed culture. That's not something I can delegate. It's my job. It falls and rises with me. So that's pretty much and resource development. And
your job sounds similar.
Exactly.
I've seen this resume before.
Right. Which is pretty much what you do for the city, right? And ensuring that whatever it is that sets us apart, I accentuate that, and I keep advancing the vision of the university and make sure that we leave a place that the generations 30, 40 years from now, when they look at the history of RCU, they can be thankful about my tenure here, and they can point to 1 or 2 things that vastly improved and added value, not just to students, but to the community as well.
Now, for some folks that might not be as familiar with Rochester Christian University, give us a couple facts.
Sure.
How many students you have here this fall? Number of teachers, professors, folks on the ground.
Sure, yeah.
So you have a lot of athletics. People are very familiar with basketball, but you have lots of different athletic programs.
We do.
What are some of the things you're most proud of here?
Yeah, so let me tell you what I'm most proud of is the cadre of professionals that work here. These are men and women that roll up their sleeves. These are men and women who are here because they buy into the mission and the vision of the institution. And and it's palpable. You know, my first meeting with the faculty here, and I'm meeting with them. And, you know, on most college campuses, they talk about the creative tension between administration and faculty. It's not here. Everybody just wants to do what's best for students. There are men and women here who love this place. There are men and women who've been here for 40 years, 35 years, 33 years. So that's one of the things that I'm particularly proud of. But we have a variety of degree programs. Most people, when they hear Christian University, they think Bible college. They think, oh, yeah, it's just a whole bunch of theology programs. No, we have all the arts and science programs, and we're going to continue to expand that. And we have athletic programs. Of course, everybody knows the basketball program here because we have storied coaches who've been here a long time, who are well known in the community. But, you know, we have hockey. We have volleyball. We have several women's sports, and we're going to continue expanding that. Of course, we're going to be relying on you to help us with some of those. But it's all part of educating the whole persons. You know, the bigger universities, like your flagship universities, they've managed to hone in on the business of athletics. At a Christian university like this, I call it the ministry of athletics. We use athletics to change and transform lives, to equip students. People who've been coached make good employees later on in life because they know how to follow discipline, how to keep rank, how to follow. That's what we use it for. We're under no, you know, I operate on the 11th commandment, thou shalt not kid yourself. You know, I don't think any of my kids are going to be in the NBA. You know, now you could be surprised. You know, you can have a Dennis Rodman once in a while who played NAI and ended up in the NFL. That can happen. But I'm under no illusion whatsoever that that's the rule. And so I have to concentrate on making them the best individuals so they can success and prepare them for success for the world they're going to, not one I'm coming from.
Right.
And so what do you ask me what has changed? What has changed now is we are now more sensitive to the fact that the world is changing and that I might have a degree and a doctorate, but it might have been more relevant to the world I came from, and that's not the world these students are going to. So we need to be future informed in our practices today because we have a moral obligation to prepare these students for that world.
A lot of people, I mean, that's really wonderfully said, and I can appreciate that. One of the things that you have here, you're in a great location, as you mentioned. You have a lot of people, and every university struggles with this, true, but maybe even more so here. Drive down Avon Road, and they go, oh, that's that Christian university, but they don't know much about it.
Yes.
What's the one thing they should know?
One thing they should know, one thing they are going to know. They are going to know this, that we're going to be innovation-centric. You know, we live in a great city.
This is my guy. Innovation is my word.
Yes, yes. And one thing they're going to know is our vision is to become a global destination for students who are seeking an innovation-centric, values-driven education rooted in rigorous academics and a transformative campus life. But they are going to know that this is a destination for students from all over the world. We have 20 countries represented right now, 29 different states represented on this campus. That's going to go up. They're going to know that this is a place where their students, their loved one, will be cared for, will be welcome, because they're not a number. Our faculty will know who they are, our administration will know who they are, and they will get the best psychosocial support for their journey than they would in a bigger place where, you know, so they're going to know that. They are going to know that this place gives them the tools to have the personal versatility needed in a changing world, because it's changing. You know, 65% of all incoming primary and secondary school students right now, according to the World Economic Forum, are going to work in jobs that currently don't exist. And what's the best way to prepare those students is to give them the tools and the personal versatility they need to adapt and acquire new skills and continually reinvent themselves. They're going to know that at Rochester Christian University, students will get those competencies.
I guess the only thing I see is you're just missing the passion. You know, that I think I'm ready to enroll, and I have a degree. No, I mean, you know, it's fun to talk with people who are passionate about what they do, and it took about 30 seconds for me to realize you're passionate about higher education. Some of that may be obviously coming from a background that you might have tried to suppress, but as you said, God equipped you to be in education.
It is my call. This is not a job for me. It's my call. You know, being a college president at some universities is pays a lot of money. Being small Christian university like this, you are the chief servant. You are here to serve. And you're here to serve a generation. You're here to serve the people that actually do the job on a daily basis. Yeah. There will never be a day when I'll hit myself on my chest and say, look what I have done. Yeah. But there will always be a day and say, look what we have done. Look what we've been able to do. And I see myself how I'm going to measure my success is whether I've successfully given the university away to the citizens of Rochester Hills. Yeah. So that 10 years from now, everybody driving by will say, that's our university. Yeah. That's what I want to get to.
That's great. I can subscribe to that. Let's hit a couple quick questions to find out a little bit more about you. What is your favorite thing to do on the weekends?
So I'm a big on family. I am a homebod. And it also depends on what time of the year it is. And so I engage. I always tell people this, have a compelling avocation. Have a compelling and significant avocation. Something you love doing, something you use for self-care. So I'm an artist. So during COVID, like during 2021, I had maybe 100 pieces. And I've had two exhibitions in Kansas. And so I like to do that. But I like to exercise as part of my self-care. I love sport. You know, college
and your favorite
football.
one?
College football.
And do you have a team?
And football and track.
Don't tell me it's a Big 12 team.
No. You know what? I'm new here, so I know not to say that.
Yeah, you're right in the middle, too. It's an hour to MSU, an hour to U of M. You gotta be real careful.
Right. So I need to be careful, you know, but oddly enough, I love track and field. You know, so I watch the Diamond League and I watch all the track and field. I watch the NCAA track and field, and I just I love sport because I love it for what it does for college kids and the discipline and the passion and the exertion that and I call them kids, that these kids show. Professional teams, you know, not so much, you know. Yeah, so I'll go to the NFL game, I'll go to an NBA game, but I really love college sport.
What are you listening to?
What do I listen to?
Yeah.
Lots of podcasts. Lots of podcasts. Right now, I'm back to one of the most influential people in my life. He was Peter J. Daniels. He's an Australian entrepreneur. He's an Australian. So in the 80s, before McDonald's, he owned more real estate than McDonald's.
Really?
But yet he never finished high school. He flunked out of high school. Became a Christian in 1950. I had a Billy Graham crusade. Okay. One of his great teachers told him he was brain dead, but he became, and so he has a series, and I listened to it in the late 90s, and I started listening to it now. He's written books like How to Be Happy Though Rich, how to stay motivated, and so I'm listening to that. Podcasts. Listen to a lot of it.
All right. Favorite vacation spot?
Favorite vacation? Oh, I have a new favorite vacation spot right now.
I'm ready.
It's north of here, Petoskey.
Okay.
Yeah, that's new. That's
You've
new.
lived on the Gold Coast. You've been to Africa. You want to be close to an international airport?
Yes.
And you like Petoskey?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Recently discovered, I assume.
Recently discovered. I have a colleague who lives there.
Okay.
Before this, I always like to go to the coasts, and I will tell you, the Gold Coast, I spent quite a bit of time on Broad Beach and the Gold Coast and Surf City in Australia, 18 golf courses in a very, but anyway, that's for another day. It used to be my favorite because I could go deep sea fishing, I could go swimming, I could go surfing, I could do all kinds of things. But believe it or not, it's all here.
Northern Michigan, I think I mentioned this to you before, Petoskey's one spot. I love Grand Haven on the west side. Traverse City is a beautiful spot. You have to get to Mackinac. I'm sure you get to Mackinac for some higher education conference at some point. But Michigan, Northern Michigan especially, is one of the most beautiful places in the world. And I've traveled a lot. It's gorgeous up there.
So, I'm not hard to please. You give me a body of water. You give me exciting temperatures that fluctuate. You got me.
More than Lake North Central?
Oh, well.
Does that count as a body of water?
Well, yes, it does. Yes, it does. And of course, we get to enjoy this, and it's not just something that we enjoy by ourselves. I feel like the citizens of this great city are a part of it and own as much of it as we do.
Well, you have a beautiful campus. You have a wonderful story. I'm excited to have you here in our community and to see what you're going to do to this really treasured part of our city. We are in partnership, and the more successful students you turn out that are job ready and career ready and family ready, the better for us. I say that for both you and for Oakland University. We're blessed to have two institutions of higher learning that are one of the most valuable parts of our community.
Well, we're blessed to be in a city. I love innovation. I love innovation. I did not know about this until I moved here. So that was the cherry on the icing of the cake when I heard about your vision for this city. And the one place that I haven't been to yet, because I've just been keeping myself busy, is Innovation Hills.
Innovation Hills.
And I'm telling you this. So I've been to Stanford University. I visited Stanford University, and everybody brags about the number of patents that comes out of that community out there. But the people don't know. There are more of them come out of this place than that place.
More than one a day.
Well, that's fascinating for me, so that gets my blood going. And so I'm looking forward to, roll up my sleeve and engage in innovation for the university and take part in what the city's doing.
Well, you'll have a partner in that with me. That's my adopted middle name. Reggies, we have one last question that we ask every guest on the podcast. You don't know what it is, so you've had no time to prep for it, but it's a two-parter.
Sure, okay.
If you could have lunch or dinner with any individual, alive or past, first part, who would it be? The second part, where would you take them?
Warren Buffett.
That was quick.
The Oracle of Omaha. And where would I take him? There is,
he's a McDonald's guy.
I'm going to get myself into trouble because this restaurant is not in Rochester Hills, Mayor, so forgive me.
It's okay.
But it's this little Thai restaurant in Troy.
Now I'm pissed.
I'm so sorry. So I really, really enjoyed that, right?
Yeah.
And
so if you had Warren Buffett at a Thai restaurant in Troy as your guest, you're correct.
You're correct. That's right. Because I think he's a brilliant mind who knows how to keep things simple. I think he has some foresight that someone like me can benefit from. I follow him. I think there's. I could list a whole list, but definitely it'll be Warren Buffett.
Yeah. Reggies, thank you.
Oh my goodness.
You. Thank you for being on the show, and thank you more so just for leadership and for bringing in energy to the campus and to our community. We look forward to working with you and supporting you, and love to see what you're going to do this. You're bringing a tremendous amount of background, international intrigue to this wonderful place that we love to call home. And so you have our support. We're excited to see you. And
I look forward to just hitching my caboose onto your train and just riding on your coattails, because I think you've blazed a path here that you don't see in many cities, and which makes doing my job a lot easier. And it's easier to explain to someone why they need to come to Rochester Hills because of Rochester Hills, why they need to come to us. Very attractive, very nice place, shows well. I'm looking forward to bringing guests from all over the world and just show them what a beautiful place this is.
Well, look forward to innovating with you, and look forward to our next program coming up soon. More great guests doing great things. Reggies, thank you for being here. Look up Rochester Christian University. If you haven't spent a lot of time, check out the website. Maybe even stop by, park here, walk through campus. It's an absolutely fantastic, beautiful place to check out and see what they're doing, because they're really creating some wonderful opportunity for students in our community. Thank you as always for watching Right Down the Street. We are excited about bringing more innovative content to you in the near future. Until next time, thanks for tuning in, and God bless.